On this episode of K-Pod,
what is food shopping like in Korea? What's it like finding clothes in Korea? How does the cost of living compare to the West? What's the service industry like in Korea? All of this and more on this episode of K-Pod.
we record our podcast in downtown Changwon City, South Korea at the only Irish bar in town, O'Brien's Irish Bar and Restaurant. They are located in Jungang-dong, right across from the International Hotel on the 3rd floor. If you are in the area, be sure to stop by and check them out for some good food, drinks, and one of the best atmospheres in the area. O'Brien's Irish Bar and Restaurant, Changwon City.
It's K-Pod, Life in Korea, with your hosts Scott, Marco, and Adam. Welcome back to K-Pod, Life in Korea, the podcast that brings you some of the lives and people working and living right here in South Korea and in Changwon City in particular. I'm one of the hosts, Adam. With me this week is Scott. Scott, how are you?
Not too bad, thanks.
And across from me is Marco. Marco, how you doing?
Doing great, thanks.
And today's guest is Saber. Saber, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Great. In this episode, we'll be talking about shopping in Korea, shopping for clothes, household items, and online shopping, and services in Korea. First, we are going to discuss shopping for food. Where do you do your food shopping and general grocery shopping in Korea? Scott.
You're asking the wrong person to start off this because I'm not much of an eater.
Okay.
But to be honest, I just go to just a local grocery store near my house, like a GS supermarket type thing.
Okay.
But to be honest, I don't do much grocery shopping.
All right. Do you find that your options for certain foods are limited there, or you can usually find what you're looking for?
I usually find what I'm looking for because I only eat twice a day, like at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m.
Okay.
And I just eat eggs in the morning and meat and kimchi at night.
Okay.
So I don't have much of a list.
All right. So it's pretty easy shopping.
Yeah. But in fairness, I wouldn't be able to tell you comparing it back home either. So, But yeah, just a local. I occasionally buy some junk and stuff like at a corner store, but just a local grocery store.
Okay. Good. How about you, Marco? Where do you do your shopping?
I live next door to a grocery store, like the NH grocery store underneath the bank. So I'll do some grocery shopping there, or E-Mart because they have a lot more options, like E-Mart or Lotte Mart. And then there's also like the market in Sangnam-dong if you want fresh fruits and things. That's the way to go. But I eat out a lot. Like I'll order. Like if you order from like a barbecue place like Yo-Yo or something, like they'll send you enough for like 2 or 3 people. So then I can eat on that for a few days and I don't even really have to worry about what I'm going to eat.
Are there any items that you can't find here that you'd be able to find in the States?
I wouldn't say there are items that I can't find so much as items that are just harder to find or are ridiculously expensive. Like I used to cook a lot of things with ground beef, but here, like I would be paying like $15 for like 5 pounds of ground beef back home. Whereas here it's like $7 for a pound. It's really expensive. So I usually substitute it out for like ground pork.
Okay. Yeah, same here, actually.
Yeah.
All right. And Saber, where do you do most of your grocery shopping?
I'm the same. I usually go to E-Mart or Lotte Mart depending on the day because E-Mart gets insanely busy on like weekends. So it's hard to shop and move around when ajumas are running into you with their elbows. But I eat out a lot too. I'm not much of a cook. I used to bake a lot. So that was my thing, but I don't have an oven here. So.
Okay. Yeah. And it should be noted that in Korea, they have this rule. It's like the first and third weekend of each month. The big
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth, yeah. Second and fourth.
Second and fourth are closed.
Yeah.
And first and third, they're open.
Yeah.
So the big chain stores like E-Mart and Home Plus.
But that's the Sundays, not just like...
It's the Sundays, right? Yeah, not the full weekend. Which can be a little frustrating because most people do a lot of their shopping on Sundays, but it's actually kind of a good thing because it's helping to promote people to shop at smaller scale grocery stores, kind of giving the mom and pop shops an advantage in that regard. All right, and how much cooking do you do at home? Scott, how much, you actually already answered this one, really?
Yeah, not too much. Well, twice a day.
Okay.
I don't eat out that much. I sometimes get delivery, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later, but Yeah, just like a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner at night.
Have you mastered any Korean culinary recipes?
No.
No? Can't make doenjang jjigae or kimchi jjigae or anything?
I have learned a few things from doing a cooking show before, but other than that, I haven't really tried myself.
I see. Okay. Marco, you said you eat out a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I also cook. I used to cook a lot more when I first got here because when I first got here, the school I work at wasn't providing lunches. So I would like cook something at the beginning of the week so that I could I'd have something to take to school for lunch and I wouldn't have to go out every day. But now I don't do that as much.
Have you learned to cook any Korean dishes?
I have made kimchi jjigae, but it wasn't really, I didn't follow a recipe. I just threw a bunch of things that I have seen in kimchi jjigae that I have bought into a pot.
Are you pleased with the results?
It was amazing.
Good. Like to hear that.
Why haven't you done it again and shared?
Because then I have to clean it up.
Oh, well, yeah, I feel that.
And then I have to share.
For the listeners not familiar with Korean cuisine, kimchi jjigae is basically just a kimchi stew.
Yeah.
With some, is there meat? Do you put meat in yours?
Yeah, I put meat. Like a lot of times they'll have samgyeopsal stuff, the meat, or the thin slices of pork in it. I did the chunks. I found chunks of pork that I cooked in it, and I didn't just make it in the kimchi juice. I actually made I used chicken stock.
Okay.
As the base, and then I added the kimchi, some tofu, and some meat, and then just chopped some vegetables and threw in.
All right. Did you let that simmer for long, or?
Yeah. I mean, I let it cook for about half an hour. I wanted to make sure that the meat was cooked all the way through, and then I just kept it on low for a little while to make sure everything had set, and I was pleased.
Great. Saber, do you do a lot of cooking here?
I used to when I first got here too, a lot of pastas for dinner and stuff. I don't do that much anymore because I'm lazy and I don't want to clean up after myself either.
Yeah, and it's pretty cheap to eat out.
Yeah.
I cook from time to time, mostly things like chili. I bought a secondhand crock pot a few years ago, and I've been using that for chili, which is good. I like to cook for my girlfriend as well. She thinks I'm a pretty good cook. So, but if I can eat out, there are some really good restaurants in my neighborhood. On Friday night, we went out for Galbi Jim, which is a big kind of stew with pork ribs and vegetables and stuff. It's really, really tasty, really filling as well. All right, and let's talk about the cost of food. So, Marco, you mentioned beef is a lot more expensive here than it is back in the States.
Yeah, beef is a lot more expensive here. I know Korea is known for their own kind of beef, the Wagyu beef, but even that is pretty expensive here in Korea. Yeah, just a lot of the things that we use in regular cooking in the West.
Like cheese.
Yeah, cheese is expensive.
Cheese is so expensive.
Cheese is very expensive, yeah. Same with good butter. If you want to find good butter, it's $10 for a stick. I remember when I first came here, there was a big uproar about mad cow disease. Do you remember this?
This probably happened a few times.
Yeah.
During my time here.
I think this was around 2008 where a lot of the beef imports, they were trying to get them banned because of this hysteria about mad cow disease. So
I remember a lot of menus at a certain time, I don't know when, but a lot of menus start putting the country name beside the beef, like Australian beef, Canadian beef,
right,
USA beef.
Yeah, and I remember the price of U.S. beef plummeted, and it was a good thing for me. I wasn't afraid of mad cow. I thought it was kind of just, like I said, hysteria with no real, truth backing it. So I would buy American beef at Lotte Mart, and it was, really cheap because nobody was buying it. But nowadays, you see mostly Australian beef or Korean beef advertised in restaurants and such.
I heard that's what happened on Game of Thrones, right? It was mad cow.
Mad cow? We can get into the Thrones if you want. A lot of people were not satisfied with that last season.
That's all right.
All right. But I think, for the cost, produce is quite cheap here. Vegetables, certain fruits are cheap. Some others not so much. Like blueberries are quite expensive. But you can find, strawberries, bananas reasonably priced.
The issue there, though, is you get it for a reasonable price, but you get so much, it's impossible to eat it before it goes bad.
Yeah. That's one of my qualms is I love to to cook with onions, but I'd like to buy like 2 or 3 onions. You know, I live alone.
Right.
But if you want to buy onions, usually you have to buy like a bag of 9 of them or something, and 6 of them will go spoiled.
And it's like I try to give them away, but people are like, "Oh, I also just bought my bag of onions because they were so cheap."
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I know some people who go shopping at Costco in Busan, and they go as a group, and I think they just kind of shop in bulk, and then they kind of divide it at the end, which is pretty smart, actually.
I do all my shopping online.
Okay.
Even for a lot of food, so. But we'll get into online shopping a bit later, I think, anyway.
Okay. Finally, are there any recommendations regarding buying food in Korea? Are there any coupons or anything that you guys use? Groupons?
Has anybody ever bought food at Shijangs, like markets?
Yeah, I have.
Street market?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? 4-9 market?
Yeah, the 4-9 market.
Yeah, usually each dong has one. The one near my place is Sorapdong, and the market there is quite good. They have them usually 2 or 3 times a month, and you can buy produce at a very low price. So.
Yeah, we work in Songnam-dong, and really close to our school is where the market is. Like literally, you can see it looking up the street from our school, and it happens like every 4th and every 9th. So we have it like several times a month, and it's really good for fruit. Because fruit isn't like most vegetables. Like most vegetables, you use as ingredients, whereas fruit, a lot of people like oranges and things, you'll eat like as a snack or eat whole. So you can get big bags of those for really cheap, and those you'll usually eat before you run out. They go bad.
Are you ever wary about buying, let's say, like seafood or something on the street? Maybe it's been sitting there all day in the sun. Maybe not so. Maybe it's pretty risky to buy that kind of thing. Or?
I've thought about it, but I've also never bought meat from a market.
Okay. So it's mostly produce you stick to.
Yeah, I have been told that E-marts where you need, like by Koreans even, that E-marts where you should go to buy meat. Which I don't want to say that because I want, like the people are out there selling. They're trying to make money. So,
yeah.
And I'm sure it's fine, but I've been told that E-mart is the way to go. So that's usually where I go, or like next door, because you can get a big thing of the ground pork for like $6.
I know there is a butcher inside of Sangnam Market, not on the market days, but inside the market itself.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who used to buy like pork shoulder there for quite cheap, like really low price. So I think that like the inside the butcher part is pretty safe. I don't think I'd buy stuff off the street though, especially seafood. You don't know how long it's been sitting there. So. All right, next we're going to delve into shopping for clothes. We covered food, so let's talk about shopping for clothing, household, and shopping online. Where are some of the best places to buy clothes in Korea? I'm going to ask Saber first.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I know a lot of good places. But it's either boutiques, like small boutiques, or American chains.
Okay.
Because I'm rather tall.
Yes.
And so Korean sizes don't always fit my body type. So that's a little bit difficult. And some boutiques, they only sell what's called free size.
Okay.
And so it's like one size is supposed to fit most body types, and I do not have that body type. So it's a little frustrating at times.
Okay. Yeah, I have that issue with shoes. I'm a size 13, which is, I think, 310 in Korean. So usually if I buy shoes, I have them shipped from Canada, or I go up to Itaewon in Seoul. But yeah, I understand. I think a lot of people have that problem, especially taller people. Marco, where do you do your shopping for clothes?
Well, I am fortunate enough to be built like a Korean man.
Okay.
So, I mean, my shoulders are a little broader, I think, than most Koreans. So a lot of times, if it fits my torso, it's a little like tight in the shoulders. But for the most part, I can shop anywhere. I do like boutiques. Like Saber said, because I think they have a lot more interesting stuff. Like if you go to a lot of the chains, it's really mainstreamy, which, there's nothing wrong with mainstream because fashion is a trend and what's mainstream is what people like. That's what they want to see. But I don't know, like I just kind of go for what I think looks cool. And at the boutiques, there's a lot more, there's a more versatile.
And the quality is so much better.
Yeah, the quality is better. Like I love like chains. Like I go to 8 Seconds and Top 10, which are Korean. Like it's pretty much like the Korean equivalents of H&M or Forever 21.
Top 10's great.
Yeah. The top 10 is really good if you want like business casual clothes, I think. Like you can get a lot of really nice button downs there. 8 Seconds is a little more edgy. I mean, they had G-Dragon as their face for a long time. He might still be, I don't know. But those are fine. And you can get some nice fast fashion. It's affordable. But if you're going for quality, like Saber said, boutiques are definitely going to have a better quality.
Durable.
Yeah.
Scott?
Save the best for last. I don't do that much clothes shopping either, but I usually have a problem finding stuff that fit me.
Yeah.
More or less because I'm not sure the difference with the size and the measurements and all that kind of thing. Like t-shirts, I'll buy online. So I'll buy like 20 t-shirts, as big as I can get them, and usually one of them will fit me.
Okay.
So
What's the biggest, like double XL or?
In Korea?
Yeah.
I think they're triple XL.
Triple XL, yeah.
Shirts and stuff. For some reason, I think they like a 115 size is just a tad big for me, and then the next size is 110.
Yeah.
It's a bit too tight, so
you need to find like 112 or something.
Yeah, but they don't exist.
Yeah.
So. What I usually do now, I usually go home once a year. So I'll buy, a bunch of t-shirts and clothes while I'm home and just bring them back.
Yeah.
I usually take an empty suitcase with me and
I've done the same.
Fill it up. So that's how I get my clothes for the year. But I don't have any problems like with shoes and stuff or pants. I don't like trying stuff on, so
yeah.
I physically don't like going to shopping centers or department stores or anything like that. So
yeah, I went shopping today, actually. Bought few shirts for the summer, and I have to get extra large here, but I think back in Canada, I just, like a large would be suitable for me. I think the sizes are a bit different here.
But I buy a lot of, just household things online.
Okay.
So even furniture and stuff like that. So when I deck out my house type thing, most stuff I get online.
Do you have those items delivered to your door or to your school?
Either one. Depends how big it is.
Okay.
Furniture probably to the house. I literally, it takes me 20 seconds to walk to where I work.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's not a big deal. And it's more reliable sending stuff to school. But the thing in Korea, which is more about services, which we'll get into, but you can literally pretty much buy almost anything and it'll come the next day or 2 days at most. So it's not like a long. In Canada, you order something and it might
take a month or so. Yeah, I buy video games and I buy books online. And the bookshop, which I can recommend to people, there's an English bookstore in Seoul called What the Book, and their website's pretty good. And usually it comes within like 3 or 4 days.
I've used that.
Yeah, it's a good store.
I use G-Market to buy everything. Sometimes things will come from the U.S.
Yes.
Basically, what people are doing is just ordering it for you via Amazon. But you just don't have to bother with, signing up to Amazon and the shipping fees and all that.
Right. Saber, do you shop online here a lot, or?
Yeah, I do. I use Amazon.
Do you?
Yeah, G-Market is a little confusing for me, so I don't use it too much. I don't know if it's just because I haven't tried or what, but I use
the English version? Or?
Yeah. I'm like, there's so many options, and none of them are what I actually asked for.
That does get confusing when you go to select what you want to buy, and that's still in Korean usually, so...
Well, I bought some deodorant recently, and I like Old Spice, like Grandpa deodorant because it's pretty effective and it's strong. But I bought a box of, I think, 4 sticks for about 30,000 won, which I thought, was pretty reasonable. But then I'd see like a box for 150,000 won, and I was like, why is it that much? Who's going to spend that much on deodorant? It's really weird. But have any of you used iHerb? iHerb's pretty popular for things like deodorant and things like that.
Well, iHerb is good for like household supply, like perishables, pretty much.
Okay.
I've ordered foods like, not all perishables, like quinoa, that's a dry foods that keeps for a long time, but you can also get good like laundry detergents and supplements, vitamins, things like that as well. And a lot of it's organic too. Like, so if you're into that sort of thing. iHerb really has a lot of options for organic that you're not going to be able to get shipped to Korea through like Amazon or something. You'd have to like have it shipped home and then have someone else send it here. That's just a whole ordeal. So I would definitely recommend iHerb for like that sort of thing.
How do you register to iHerb? I heard there's something like some kind of code you need, or
I actually am not registered myself. I have a friend who, like, if you spend so much, you get like discounts and whatnot. So she'll just message and be like, oh, okay, so is there anything you want? I'm going to be ordering from iHerb. And I'm like, okay, so I look on iHerb and I'm like, okay, I like this. So I don't know about that sort of thing.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of websites, it might be complicated when you first register, like even Gmarket, but once it's all done, it's pretty easy to use. Like for me, it's just pushing a button.
Same. Like I ordered 2 years ago, I ordered a Halloween costume from Gmarket, and then I never used it again until last year when I bought like $1,000 worth of furniture for my apartment. And I didn't have to do anything except for like choose the sizes of furniture and then work out the delivery because, it's furniture. So a couch, a bed, those things are going to my door.
Right.
Yeah, but like the ordering part, I didn't even like it. I had my card registered just like, you would do on Amazon or even like a subscription site like Netflix. It just saves your information. And
it's weird because I do most of my shopping online, like from Gmarket. Every time I open Facebook, there's always the advertisements for, whatever I was just looking at.
Yeah, the algorithms kind of they find out what you're looking for.
I also get a lot of ads for different Korean online shopping companies.
Okay.
Trying to sell me the same thing I just bought. But
have you ever been like deeply dissatisfied with something you bought online here? Like I bought a watch one time and it looked nice, and then I got it and it was very like gaudy and it sits in my closet and I'm never gonna wear it because it looks really stupid. And my girlfriend hates it. So
I would say I do often. Like I said, I'll buy 20 t-shirts and only one fits me. So
okay,
19 of them I just throw out.
All right.
So and it's not a...
Marco, how was your furniture? Were you satisfied with that?
Yeah, my furniture was great. Like I did a lot of searching before I bought my furniture. I was very careful. I measured every angle of my apartment before I ordered furniture. Because the entire reason I was doing it was to maximize storage space. Because I've been here a long time. I've accumulated some items, and I expect I'll be here I know I'm going to be here for at least another year and a half. So, I plan on being here for a while as well. So I wanted to make my apartment practical. So I was very careful in choosing, and I'm very lucky to have to work where I work because my boss and like my director and my vice director are very helpful with every situation. Like my vice director helped me set up the deliveries and take care of all of that stuff. So when the furniture got there, the guy came, he set it up, left, and then like I didn't have to even put any of the furniture together myself.
Oh, nice.
I've never been disappointed about any of the service like that, say Gmarket or online companies do. I guess you can be about the product sometimes, but that's nothing to do with like I always get things delivered quickly and
it's pretty fast and efficient here when it comes to delivery. All right, so let's move on to newcomers to Korea. What are some things you recommend someone would bring with them from their home country that they might not be able to find here?
Based on what you just said, maybe deodorant.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Deodorant's a big one. We've talked about that on here quite a few times, actually.
If they need large size shoes.
Shoes, definitely, yeah.
Or clothes. Like I said, I buy most of my t-shirts and stuff in Canada and bring it back, so depends on your size, I guess.
And I don't know what the laws are on this, but I'm gonna say like pain medicine.
Okay.
Because back home, I can get like 50 tablets in a container for like $6 or $7, and then I'm spending $6 or $7 for like 15 in the little box here. So, and I, especially like you might get headaches from the pollution or whatever, especially when you first get here, until you acclimate to it. So it's like you're paying double for like allergy medicine, over-the-counter allergy medicine or over-the-counter pain medicine here.
I definitely, each time I go home, I bring back some Tylenol cold and flu because I find that's pretty strong, effective medicine for me when I get a cold. The over-the-counter stuff here, I don't think is very good.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, speaking of that, people that have a heartburn or something like that, I've heard, or actually I know, that things like, what do they call it, antacids?
Yeah.
Rolaids and
Gaviscon, yeah.
That's hard to find here.
Yeah, they do sell Gaviscon. I get heartburn from now and again. And they do sell Gaviscon, but it's like in a liquid form, whereas usually it comes in like a chalky tablet back home or something, like Tums or Rolaids. So yeah, those are difficult to find in Korea. So bring some of those if you have issues with acid reflux or heartburn. All right. Let's move on to services in Korea, customer service.
Not much experience with it, obviously, because I can't talk to them.
Okay.
I know it's good, and I've heard it's good. It's I've had Korean friends help me when I've needed something, and I've actually gone to a few places. Like I remember I bought an iPhone 6 or 7 when that came out, and it broke after a few months. So I went to the Apple place in Masan.
Yeah.
They couldn't help me, but they're always really nice. So
yeah, I find customer service here is pretty good. They're usually very kind and considerate of your needs. But yeah, if you have the language barrier, it helps to have a Korean friend with you to assist you. Saber, do you have any issues with customer service?
No, I've never had any problems with it. Even with the language barrier, I think it's pretty easy to sort of get across what I need. But I haven't needed to go to them for very many things. Maybe to get like a rebate coupon or something like that at Lotte department store. But
I've used G-Market's customer service, like called. They have an English speaking staff. They're pretty fluent. If you call and they're not available, they'll call you right back as soon as they can. Oh, that's it's always quick, and there's just so many people in this country that every business, every shop, everything, they have a lot of people working there just to deal with customers.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have to go to the bank once a month to send money back home. And then there was a guy a few years ago working at the bank who spoke pretty good English. And he said, you don't have to do this. We can set up an account where they automatically take money from your salary and just send it to your Canadian bank account. So I get paid on the 25th of every month, and the 26th, I think it's $1 million won, gets sent automatically to my Canadian bank account. So if anyone's looking to send money home on a regular basis, I recommend, I use Nonghyuk Bank, and they have that service. So
yeah, banking's got a lot better. My bank's all online now, and they have English website, but I have it on my phone with their app. I can just push a button and send money to Canada.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Or transfer to G-Market.
Okay. Marco, do you have any thoughts on customer service in Korea?
I have only ever used customer service once.
Okay.
At Emart to exchange something. I don't even remember what I was exchanging. I just remember it happening. Rachel went with me. She's Korean. And it was fine. I will say, with the bank, I haven't, sometimes the language barrier has been, a struggle, but, everything works out, and it's usually in a timely manner. Although I will say, for anyone who's coming, if you are using a Mac or an iPhone, the apps will be a struggle. Because you have to download specific security software, and then when I first used it a couple years ago, it was fine, but then the software was updated and it's no longer supported by Mac. So now I can't do the online stuff because I can't. The apps will not let you do it without this security software.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess is good because, they're
trying to protect you.
Yeah.
So you mean because your IP is Korean?
No, I'm talking about my Korean bank account.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. My Korean bank account, the security, it won't let me do it without the security stuff, but it's no longer supported by Mac. So I can't log on because I can't update my security.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I find also a lot of those online services, they require you to use Internet Explorer instead of Google Chrome or something like that.
Yeah, some things do.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about getting your hair cut in Korea. I got mine done recently, actually.
me too.
Have you had any issues? Has anyone had any issues trying to communicate what you're looking for in terms of a haircut or anything like that?
I'm out of this conversation.
Yeah, Scott, you shave your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I go to a guy, it's actually really cheap, and it's like a self-serve self-service shampooing. So he cuts your hair, and then he has like these sinks in the back, and you go and you wash your own hair in these sinks. And it sounds really ghetto, but he does a pretty decent job, and it's only like $9 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Saber, how about you?
I usually only go to hair salons where people have recommended them because either the stylist has worked on American style hair or European style hair, and so that they know sort of the haircuts that we prefer.
Yes.
And the coloring that is good for our hairstyle versus a Korean hair. So, and usually they've studied abroad, so they speak really good English and they know what I want. I have a hairstylist I go to here, and she studied in London. So,
okay, that's good.
So I'm always able to.
And how's the price for women? I know for men it can be pretty cheap to get a haircut.
It's expensive, but it's about what you would pay in America too for a pretty good cut and color.
All right, good. Marco?
I have had some struggles.
Are you going to tell the hair coloring story?
Yes. So originally, I went to a salon that was next door to my building. Like, my building is in a convenient location. I'm between it's bank, grocery store, barbershop.
Okay.
Yeah, so like everything I need right there. But the guy speaks decent English, not great English. However, the struggle I've had with him is I'll go in, I'll show him the picture, and like within half a second, he's like, and then just does whatever he wants. And early on, that was fine because whatever he wanted was pretty much what I went in with, just shorter, you know. He was just giving me the same thing I had, just taken off some. I did once, though, because my hair is thinning and I am very insecure about it.
Same here.
And I dyed my hair. It was not the first time I dyed my hair. Like when I was younger, I had dyed my hair, but I was trying to go for like an ashy brown. Because I don't like the super gray look. But the ashy brown I thought was really cool. Although I actually really liked what I ended up with at first. So the color I first ended up with was like a silver color. And it was not at all what I was looking for, but it looked really cool. If anybody wants to see it, you can find it on my Instagram.
Okay.
Self-plug.
And but then I went to work, and my boss said, "That's not the color for a teacher."
Really?
Yeah. And that's fair. I mean, she's very much about the professional look. Like, she wants us to look professional, and that is understandable. So I went back. So I had this done on Sunday. She said that on Monday. I went back Monday night. And so I was like, I'll just go with like a darker blonde, not like a blonde, like, but not too light of a blonde, because I figured like if it were a lighter color, it wouldn't look as thin. Well, I was like, but I've heard that like blondes can turn your hair green. So I was like, oh, this isn't going to turn my hair green, is it? And I don't know if they just misunderstood what I was saying. Because when they were finished, my hair was turquoise.
That's the color for a teacher.
And that picture may also be on Instagram. Maybe not. I don't know. And then they were just like, is this okay? I'm just like, oh, no. I was like, so I had to have it. I had my hair dyed 3 times.
3 times.
2 days.
Did they get it right on the 3rd try?
Yeah, they got it right on the 3rd try. But they were really nice about it. They didn't charge me for the last color. Because I get it the first time I said what I had was okay. So I paid for that. And then the second time when they were like, is this okay? I was like, absolutely not. They didn't charge me for that one. So I didn't have to pay for all of them. Which was nice. But yeah, I recently started going. I have a friend who's a bartender. She at night, her day job is a hairstylist. And I've been to her. I only had my hair cut once, but I took someone else to her. But I already like her better just because she listens and like she looked at the pictures and was asking questions. So recommendation, if you are specific about what you want, make sure you find someone or talk to someone who knows good English speaking, because they don't speak good English. They're going to do guesswork because it's what's easiest for them. Yeah.
I used to get my hair cut in Sangnam-dong, which is like downtown Changwoner, and I don't get my hair cut there anymore, but I remember they used to have a tablet with all kinds of different hairstyles, and you could just kind of point one out. I want that one. I thought that was pretty convenient. Let's move on to food. Ordering in restaurants. Do you have any issues communicating in that regard, like what you want, or asking if there's meat in certain dishes, anything like that? Scott?
No issues. Usually, most places you can get menus in English or will have English on it. I have allergies, so I just kind of learned how to say.
That's right. You're allergic to seafood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can say, don't put this in it in Korean.
That might be tricky though in this province. I know they do throw a lot of like anchovy sauce in a lot of the dishes, I think. So
mild things I can get away with. A little bit of like Kim or something. It's not going to kill me or nothing. So delivery can be, or has in the past been tough. You have to know your address and understand maybe a little bit what they're saying on the phone. Like usually if you call somebody to deliver food, they first ask your address, not your order type thing.
Right.
Which is maybe different than back home.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, there's also apps that you can just click and have things delivered without having to deal with.
I like how they have this kind of honor system in Korea. Like if you order some Chinese food, let's say, it'll come in like these plastic containers, and then you just, you eat your food and you put it outside of your door, and then the delivery man comes back and picks it up. I think that's a pretty good system.
No dishes.
Yeah, no dishes.
Or waste.
Yeah.
Well, less waste.
Yeah, there's less waste. I mean, there is like a little bit of, I think, cellophane on it, but that's about it. Saber, do you order in?
Yeah, I use the Yogyo app usually. That's how I get like my Chinese food when I want it, or like pizza if I'm having friends over, or what is the McDelivery?
Yeah, that's a dangerous one.
Yeah, it is. So I just put in my address and stuff once, and then it'll get delivered to me.
Okay, so you actually have no vocal communication. You just kind of type the stuff in.
Yeah, right.
All right, that's pretty convenient. Marco, do you use those kind of apps or?
Yeah, I use Yogyo and McDelivery both. The only time I've ever had to talk to anybody is one time the restaurant didn't have something, so they called to like, we're canceling the order for whatever reason. Yeah, but like once you put your information in once, I have found with Yogyo though, like some restaurants you can't pay with your card when they come. Like,
but it says that you can on the app or what?
No. Like I've looked, like it's really weird because like when I don't really like Loteria that much, but every once in a while, like their AZ burger's pretty good. So or they have like calamari or something. So every once in a while, I had tried to order. I wanted some donuts.
Okay.
And I was trying to order from Dunkin' Donuts, and usually, like when you get to the pay section, there are 3 options. So you can do like the PayPal or whatever, Smile Pay, whatever they have, whatever the thing is, or you can pay with your card there from the app, or 3, you can pay on site, like when they bring it to you. But like when I tried to order from Dunkin' Donuts and Loteria, it didn't have option 3. It would only let me choose to pay through like Smile Pay or whatever, or Samsung Pay. I don't know what, or pay with my card from the app. And my Korea, I just haven't bothered because I mean, I'm sure I could if I tried to set my card up on the app, but it would take some time and I'm lazy.
Yeah.
So I always check if I'm trying a new restaurant. I always check to make sure that I can just pay with my card on delivery.
I know that I think Carolina has had a problem too, where like sometimes they'll say that they accept card payment on the premise, but then they'll come and they're like, oh, cash only. And luckily, like she's had, I guess, cash or whatever with her. But
yeah, in terms of restaurants, also, do you ever get the waiter like warning you like this is going to be spicy?
They always say that.
Yeah.
And it's never that too spicy.
Yeah.
Spicy.
What I find in Korea is that if I think something's spicy, they don't think it's spicy. But if they think something's spicy, I don't think it's spicy.
Yeah, they always say like, oh, you can eat kimchi. Isn't it too spicy? I'm like, this is not spicy at all. I think Indian food can be spicy.
Yeah.
Okay. I've not had spicy Indian food in Korea, though.
No, they probably change it a little bit towards...
Sometimes I'm convinced that they change for foreigners. Like the dakgalbi we get sometimes is like really mild, and some days it's really spicy, and I'm like, are they changing it depending on like if we're a big group of foreigners or if it's or if it's not? I don't know. It might just be me.
I've heard rumors, but I mean, again, that's just rumors.
Yeah.
And you can pretty much get whatever you're looking for these days, too, whether it's Western food or Korean food. There's quite a big range of selection.
Yeah, and again, grocery shopping, going back to our initial topic, I know Home Plus, where I go shopping usually, they have one aisle that's kind of like international cuisine, so you can find like ingredients to make Thai food or Western, more like American style food. So.
Speaking of food, you want to give a shout out to...
Oh, yeah. Today I went to my good friend Hendrik's Snack Shack, which is in the same building as IP in Juangdong, and it's South African cuisine. Really delicious stuff. So if you get a chance, if you're keen to try some South African dishes, go there. It's on the first floor of the IP building, which I think is Sukwang Office Tel.
What is it in the front or the back?
It's in...
Like on the side of the main road?
It's on this side of the road, so not the big road.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's, okay.
Yeah, but you can walk through the parking lot of the building, and you'll see it just at the back. There's a big sign that says Snack Shack. I had a full-on English breakfast there this morning. It's quite good.
Do they have the... What, oh my gosh, I can't even remember what it's called. The South African meat? Biltong?
Biltong. Yeah,
Biltong,
that's like
yes.
the jerky. Yeah, they have that.
I've had Hendrik's homemade biltong before.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, they have that, and they have South African sausages, boerwurst, I think it's called, or something like that, and some other good stuff. I had some kind of meat pie there today. I think it's called a Jaffa or Jafta or something like that. Yeah, it's really yummy stuff, and it's reasonably priced for all our South African listeners and other listeners for that matter. We're out of time on this episode. Once again, we covered shopping for food, clothing, household items, and customer service in Korea. If you have any comments or thoughts, always feel free to leave your comments wherever you find this episode. Don't forget to like and share. Follow us on the Changwoner Facebook page, YouTube, iTunes, and wherever you find podcasts. Once again, I'm Adam, and you can find me on Facebook, Adam Maxwell Kent, or Instagram, Everstalwart. Thank you, Saber, for joining us. Where can people find you?
You can find me at the K-Pop Global.
And Marco?
I am also at kpop.global, and my Instagram, if you want to see my silver hair, it's just Marco Baille, Baille.
Okay, and Scott, where can people find you?
You can get a hold of me at the Changwoner or this podcast. This podcast is at k-pod-cast.com.
Excellent. Remember, if you have any questions regarding living in Korea, you can get in contact with us at any time, wherever you find this podcast, and we'd be happy to help you out. If you liked this podcast and show, like it, rate it, share it, leave us your comments, and we'll see you again next time. We record our podcast in downtown Changwon City, South Korea, at the only Irish bar in town, O'Brien's Irish Bar and Restaurant. They are located in Juangdong, right across from the International Hotel on the 3rd floor. If you're in the area, be sure to stop by and check them out for some great food, drinks, and one of the best atmospheres in the area. O'Brien's Irish Bar and Restaurant, Changwon City.